So, hello everyone. And an opportunity popped up because the cable on my steering wheel broke and I cannot shift or do anything on the wheel basically except turn it on the base where it's mounted on. So I thought maybe that's a good opportunity to do a video on how good actually it is to drive with automatic shifting. And I guess the best way to do this is to just start. So I did load a setup and well, let's just keep that for now. That should be fine. So this is a setup that Gregor has prepared for next week's SRO Esports on Zandvoort. So I guess the pressure should be fine, and I'm not going to look into this too much. So all I'm going to do is try to focus on the driving, and that's entirely the driving, not even doing shifting myself. And I can already tell it's shifting up really early, I have to say. So yeah, it's probably using the certain shifter point seems to be like 6,340 or something like that. Okay, it's not shifting down as well. Okay, we're driving the thing like a diesel now, apparently. Okay, no downshift here as well. No power on the exit. Feels like driving an S-Class, to be honest. The way it shifts, or it doesn't shift, rather. It's really interesting because usually you try to take your downshift points into account in the braking zone to, do a certain thing to the car. But when you can't control the shifting, then it's really tricky to kind of get these extra effects from the downshifts, like locking the rear tires just a tiny bit to get an extra bit of rotation there, or doing a certain short shift or so just to prevent some slip on corner exits. Okay, so the tires are slowly building the pressure. I guess we'll need at least another lap for them to come alive. Oh, I feel so much like a passenger because I go down the gears much faster than the game is doing. I feel every sports road car from BMW would have more aggressive shifting in automatic mode than the M6 has in ACC. It really seems like the shifter point is pretty much hardwired to a certain RPM, which I guess isn't really a smart thing to do because the engine changes on every track. Okay, last time around it was in fourth, so it's adapting. Now it went down to third for the quick right there, and now, okay, I think second was a repetition of last lap. One of the trickiest corners in the game. I usually try to aim for one late apex, not two, not one in the middle, just one late apex here to focus a bit more on the straight. And here you really have to see if the car is able to take the curbs. I think Gregor has set it up here in a nice way. And I always feel like we're very low in the torque range. It's at least shifting 10 kilometers too early. I mean, we already know that Zandvoort isn't exactly a BMW track. But with automatic shifting, certainly not getting faster. So 136.6 is, I think, incredibly slow. I mean, they're certainly down to my driving to some degree at least. But I would be expecting a 34 middle maybe if I had the chance to shift myself. But I don't want to blame it just yet. I mean, it was literally my first lap since the AOR race a couple months ago. I'm sorry for the WhatsApp noises in the background, by the way. But yeah, in particular in this corner, I definitely like to have a downshift because there's just zero power in fifth gear. The car is just dying. And now, okay, we're back to fourth or third. Okay, I expected this to be less horrible, to be honest. And the interesting bit is now, I'm not just focusing on my line and how I'm braking and driving and steering, but I'm also having to react to how the game thinks shifting is ideal, which obviously is completely wrong, to be honest. Okay, improving lap time. And feels like I have to pray on corner exits that I'm getting a proper gear. So down into 135s at least. Let's see, maybe a 34 is not impossible. Oh, come on, shift down, please. I feel so dependent. Come on, shift down. Oh boy. Yeah, so we're at least shifting 10 kilometers higher, and we're certainly always too low in the rest for power to develop. Like, we did a lot of testing with all the different engines the game is giving the BMW, or the BOP is giving the car. So there it... Oh, nice pressure loss. Didn't miss that one. Funnily enough, on Donington we didn't really have the pressure loss we were expecting to have in the 12 hours race. Anyway, okay, let's do a couple more laps. So the shifting is definitely not helping, but you can get used to that. But it seems like it's really costing a lot of lap time from the car just being ultra sluggish in some parts of the track. I think here, second gear is just still fine, and it always goes down to third gear here for the last corner. I think this is kind of working. So you at least have some power here on the exit to get the rear around a bit. And oh man, I think for a lot of other corners I feel like I'm being 1 or 2 gears too high or something, and then there's zero acceleration on the exit. Here just about down to second, I think this is fine. So here you can work with it. Next corner it was staying in fourth, when I would certainly want third. Okay, I just have to go a bit slow. It feels like there's again a certain RPM range where it's going to shift down. So I have to work around the automatic shifting points basically. So I reduce my speed more in the corner than I'd normally do for the automatic to shift down to the gear I need for the exit. Insane that it doesn't shift down here, like there's zero acceleration. I don't know who made that, to be honest. I think what you'd need to do basically is just put both RPM triggers basically 150 to 100 RPMs higher or something like that, just so that the downshift happened a bit earlier and the upshift happened a bit later. And then I guess it wouldn't be entirely wrong. But I don't know what they have based this on. Come on, third. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming a bit at an arbitrary point, right? Because I feel when I have the point where I want to be in the throttle, then I don't know which gear I'm having. So in fourth gear I have to be later on the throttle because I'm not getting the rotation. In third I can be earlier on throttle because I'm getting additional rotation. But it feels like I'm already kind of maxing out on lap time. So the gearing certainly is costing me a lot of time. Yeah, now it's fourth again. So there's also this kind of inconsistency coming from, yeah, just the car not shifting down because I'm not reaching the threshold RPM. And it would be great if there was some learning for the automatic gear shifting to at least adapt to, yeah, how you did the corner and how it would, I don't know, benefit the car in the end. It should be able to measure if you're gaining or losing time on the exit, and based on that choose the gear where you gained or lost more time. So I guess the whole rationale of the video in the end will be that automatic shifting is not really worth it. So it's certainly costing time, that I can say for sure. And I can maybe if I learn some more to adjust my speed just about that RPM threshold, that I can, yeah, and there it's just shifting up right in the acceleration zone, so that's super horrible. That shouldn't be. And why? What is it based on? Because if I'm in the throttle, the RPM should go up, so I'm already in that threshold. So it's very weird. And I think would be really difficult to make it into the 34s here. Well, remember in this type of weather, the Bentley would do, I think, a 33.67 or so, unless it got nerfed again. And the Ferrari certainly into 33s as well. Just to have a benchmark here, not to go on about BOP one more time. Yeah, this is just horrible here. It needs... I mean, I'd probably use third. And here third as well, very, very certain, if not even second. Okay, I'll do like 2 more laps, pushing a bit. And then I'll actually try another car. How the automatic works there, just to see if it's maybe also a car issue that the gear shift points have just been put in the wrong place. So I'd say 1 more lap. Trying to improve once more. Yeah, I'm not getting driving better here. Keep in mind it's a practice session, not a hot lap session, so the tire is wearing a bit as well. But that shouldn't cost me that amount of time. Okay, so 1 more push. Can't adjust anything. Maybe I would touch the brake guys otherwise. Shift down, come on. Yes. Lost a bit there on the brakes, especially. Just locked up a bit too much into that corner. I'm on power so early just because I know there's nothing coming. Nice challenge if you would be doing community race or something. Okay, there's a nasty bump on the entry there. Setup doesn't eat that at all. Yeah, okay, I guess I'm not improving, just trying to yeet it. Nope. The front grip is already gone. Okay, so 35.5, and I think that is almost worth an entire second that I'm lacking with the automatic shifting. So let's try another car, same settings. Let's hope I have something ready. I'll just take the... Which should I take? I mean, I know the Bentley is quick, but I don't want to drive on the right side really because it's horrible. The Ferrari might be a bit too aggressive, but I think it's interesting because it has a nice throttle response, and being in the wrong gear in the Ferrari might not be as bad as in the BMW. Sadly, we don't have a livery yet for all cars. Got to work on that. So, let's just start this again. Let me quickly load a setup that I hopefully have as well. I do even. So let's load this one. It's probably going to be fine. And I might need some more fuel in here. Yeah, totally. 30 is what I had on the BMW just now. And then we do the fun again. Let's hope the pressures somewhat fit what they should, and then let's see what we can do with automatic steering in the Ferrari. Automatic shifting, that is, of course. Okay, it's shifting too early as well. Oh dear. So normally on the Ferrari, of course, you'd go as close to the ref limiter as you can until basically it flashes red in the dash. There's this message, overboost or so, that should be coming at some point. But yeah, it has the same mistake here. It's just using the wrong gear. Oh, nice, we're in 5th at 140. I mean, not even on my road car I do that, I guess. Let's see if it's learning. Yeah, pressure seemed to go into the right direction. Give it another lap and it should be fine. Oh, okay, it's downshifting at least. I thought it would be better in general. Okay, 4th is absolutely dead. Like, I'm parking it in this corner. I don't have to take care of the exit whatsoever. I can easily make it, and I'm certainly 10 kilometers down by now on what the top speed should be. Okay, the downshifts on the Ferrari are super late, like in the lowest of low RPMs. Okay, it's never gonna shift down. Okay, it's even worse. So the downshift point in the Ferrari seems to be defined as, I don't know, have to look it up actually, just watching the RPMs go down in the next proper braking zone where it shifts down, so 2 corners to go. Yeah, and it also, wow, it's not really helping having such a high gear with little engine brake, because then the whole differential doesn't really kick in that corner and the car is just horrible. So it's shifting down something like 3,500 RPMs. Yeah, 3.8, something like that. Wow. I think when you're driving manually, it would more be something like 6.5. Okay, that is completely broken, to be honest. Let's see what the lap time brings, though. Oh, now we got 3rd, which is a lot better. I think at the end of the curve on the left, we had 210. Okay, now it's almost 217, so much faster with the right gear already. Lap time, horrible. I mean, I'm not driving nice, but it's also because the downshifts are really confusing me right now. Come on, do it. Wow. Looks like with wrong gear shifts, you can completely ruin the car. Wow, we're gaining massively. Hundreds after hundreds. Wow. Okay, I was actually, when I started the video, I was hoping, you know what, guys, you might as well just use automatic gearings because it's fine, the game got you covered, don't worry. But now I have to say, you have to be really worried if you're not shifting manually. Feels like a formation lab, to be honest, the RPMs. Oh, now we're back and forth, thank you. So we're losing 1/10. We're losing a 2nd tenth. 2.5 tenths. Thank you for that. I think I have to slow down more in the corners to get the lower gear. Okay, it doesn't work even. So what I could do now, or try, is go slower through the corners even, just to get the car to downshift once more, to have a better gear for the exit, and then go a lot faster. Because we're losing most of the time in acceleration here because the gear is wrong. Everything else is more or less fine. Like here, power down, nothing happening. And then also my brake points don't work because I'm carrying a way different speed on the straight. At least we're getting second here. It's important for the straight. And there's another 2/10 in the last corner if we get third gear. So let's pray. Or slow down enough. Nope. That wasn't enough for him. Still gaining, got a slightly better exit. But there's so much room in the exit, I don't even have to go wide. Okay, so if we would be getting third gear, let's do this one more lap. And then I guess this test is almost conclusive. Oh, come on! What the... Yeah, and that's then really bad. Like, you're in third, put the power down, it suddenly shifts down to second, which, of course, completely screws you over suddenly in the acceleration zone. Doing a gear change downwards. I don't know, how's it called even? It's a short shift when you shift up early. Is it a long shift if you shift down? I don't know. That's something that has to be invented still. Don't ever do that. Do not shift down while accelerating unless you're really stuck in the wrong gear entirely and you had a misshift before, so. But yeah, because of that simple shift error, I guess this lap has become unreasonable. So there's a small conclusion to make. Automatic shifting is dog shit. And that's the end of the video. See you all very soon. But no, to make a real conclusion here. It seems like the automatic shifting in the game works by very, very simplified factors. So there seems to be a threshold for the upshift and a threshold for the downshift. And it seems to be rather odd on some cars. On the BMW, we saw the upshift was definitely too early. The downshift, I think, was way better than in the Ferrari, for example. But then on the Ferrari, you had the downshift to happen super late, somewhere around 3,500 something RPM or so, which is really, really late. And you saw the car shifting down basically all the gears in the last 5% of the braking zone. And just because you hardly ever reach these low RPMs, you end up with a too high gear in the corners because it doesn't shift down to the appropriate gear. Which then has ramifications for the exit of the corner, where you simply don't have the power available because you're stuck in a gear too high or something, and then there's zero power available because these cars have a rather narrow range in their RPMs where they can work. Maybe it's a bit better on the Mercedes because it has the wider torque range, for example. So maybe the conclusion could be, if you have to drive automatic, you need to take a car that doesn't have a turbocharger, that comes alive very late, and that just has the torque across the whole range of the engine, where I think the Mercedes sounds like your best shot, to be honest. But it also highlights really the importance of gear shift and how they affect lap time. You really have to be in the correct gear in each corner to have the acceleration, to also have the right amount of rotation in the corner, because the gearing just also plays a role there in how it interacts with the differential of the car. So yeah, ending on a bit more serious note about not using the automatic gearbox unless you absolutely have to, and then I guess my best shot would be it works on the Mercedes rather than on the other cars. Okay, bye guys, we have a race in next week, and we might have something other community races coming up next Monday. Stay tuned. Bye.